For who?
Me.
For you? What do you mean for you? Covered for you? What do you mean?
So that when I die, the house is paid off.
Oh, are you going to haunt this house and live in it when you die? I was like, so what are you trying to accomplish? Because the price depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So if you want the house to be here and owned by your estate so you can haunt it with your soul and not have anybody else living here, that's one program. If there's someone else that wants to live here, that's another program.
Uh-huh.
What did you have in mind?
Well, my kids to live here.
Do they want to live here? Where do they live now?
Brian got on me. This was a real life appointment that I had the other day. I could have told this woman till I was blue in the face, and she was
okay. So it's a matter of asking what they're trying to accomplish.
Uh-huh.
And so many times, what you'll perceive as a looky-loo in our world, if what you're saying, that's where Hayden was stuck. Is he's almost like taking some of the stuff like, oh, it's a looky-loo. No, it's a crappy salesmanship. Okay. And so it's really a case of you're not asking questions to figure out what's the real pain that they're trying to solve. The smoke screen is, I want a price. That's how they're programmed to say that. But what they're doing that because they don't know the words to create, or they're saying that because they're scared of what the price might be, and they're almost looking for a reason to dismiss it. And your job is to get them to engage and talk about their situation, their pain, so you can show them a program that's going to solve their problem and fit their budget. And that's really the key. I said, well, shoot, sometimes the program's free. So what do you mean? Well, it don't cost nothing. You can haunt the house whether the mortgage is paid off or not. If your goal is just to come back and haunt it, you can live here as a spirit. Someone else can own it. Let me take you some haunted house around here and we'll show you. You know. Okay. All right. But like, you can be silly or not, but you've got to get real at that point. And so here's what I will tell you. The looky-loos don't send in a direct mail response. The looky-loos don't answer the phone when you call after they send a direct mail response and agree to having you in their house and let you in their house. Think about that for a second. If they responded, answered the phone, agreed to you coming over, we're home, and let you in the house, they're not a looky-loo, by and large. Can there be a crazy exception? Yeah. But you've got to believe I'm here, they're not a looky-loo, and I'm supposed to help clarify their thought process so they can better verbalize what they need. That's really, and I think that's a very, very clear thing to not mess up and don't take the wrong message from this book and try to apply it. Be real careful with
that. You said something. You said, I could tell her anything and she wasn't gonna. You said something long and I could tell her whatever. It's not telling. It's asking, coming back to asking questions. Because anytime you're in that situation, it has to do with clarification of the why or the pain, generally speaking.
Right. And so I don't know what you meant when you said I could tell her anything, but what did you mean?
So I had a client and I've had a couple clients who just don't understand the whole mortgage protection and life insurance. So I tried getting her financial background. Like it was not a good appointment on my end. I have to acknowledge that 100%. I called Brian and asked for help and everything. It was just, it went poorly. And I'll recognize some things. Well,
instead of saying it went poorly, let's get specific. Okay. So she wanted mortgage protection. Correct. She's how old? Ballpark. 30, 40, 50, 60,
50.
50.
Yeah.
Anybody living in the house with her?
Mother.
Mother. Okay. What did she want to have happen when she died?
She wanted the house paid off for her children.
For her children. Were her children going to live in the house when she died?
That was a question I did not ask.
Okay. That's where the breakdown is.
Right.
Like, so this is not telling. It's forgetting the key questions to ask in a mortgage protection appointment. Right. Okay. Do your kids have their own house? Do they live in California? Where do your kids live?
Talked a little bit about that. Like I said, I
screwed up. That's fine. But now, for everybody's benefit, we're going through the process.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh. So will they want to live in your house? Is your house the best of the lot? Would they all want to come in here, or who do you think would want to live in this house? but really clarifying what is it she's trying to accomplish. Or will your kids turn around and sell this house and they'll want the equity from the sale? Is that what they're going to want? So I might be able to save you some money and show you better cost solutions if we can clarify what you're really trying to have done or what they're going to want done when you die. Okay. So and part of this is people have some thing that says, oh, well, if I can do this and it's $10 a month and it's just this thing that don't really cost anything, that's fine. But that's like, so they might be thinking like something like that. So that's where an accidental death they might be, oh yeah, that looks good. But that's not really going to, it's almost like a false security blanket. But most people are thinking, okay, well, what if I die? What do I really want to have happen? So, okay, well, here's how this works. If we don't really think, here's what's going to happen. Would you agree? Yes. Are you okay if that happens? Well, no. Okay, well, if we want to do something else instead, here's what we can do to change that outcome. But you've got to, what's their desired outcome? What's going to happen if we don't change anything? And just slow down on that.
But in this, like Mike's saying, they checked all the box. They filled out the form. You got them on the phone. They set an appointment with you. You got into the house. The breakdown is somewhere in the house. And so just going off of what he says in this book, it sounds more like that person was a buyer in power. The difference is the buyers and powers aren't consciously feeling any major pain that's unfulfilled, which causes them to lack the same amount of urgency as buyers in heat. Okay, and a looky-loo, those aren't the same as what we're saying here. The lack of urgency is the problem, and the lack of urgency is because they haven't felt the pain, which we haven't uncovered, which we haven't asked some questions about. No.
I got a question. Why did you say she did not understand mortgage protection?
So we started going into like her getting her financial picture. So I started asking her about, what she had, trying to figure out what we needed to get covered. And she just got upset when I started asking her about that. Because she was like, that's my business. You don't need to know about that. I tried to explain it. So then she goes, well, why do I need, you're talking about life insurance. Why do I need life insurance? So then I literally broke it down for her. I said, well, who pays for this home? And I was like, well, how do you pay for this home? We're looking into this for your mortgage protection to make sure that, in the event that you pass away or when you pass away, we can have some, if not all of it covered. And she just couldn't put the two together.
So, so she wants the concept of mortgage protection. Her brain has this thing of this concept of mortgage protection. Mm-hmm. Okay, so two things in this case. When you feel the resistance of going through the green sheet and the way it's coming out, it's because she really has a disconnect between what her vision of mortgage protection is and what yours is. Mm-hmm. So we've got to get on the same page. Mm-hmm. So the first thing is to say, almost close up and say, I think I might have jumped too far too fast. Let's make sure what you're thinking about mortgage protection is the same thing I'm thinking about. Tell me, what is it you want mortgage protection to do for your family? Okay. And what, if you don't get it, what's going to happen without it? Mm-hmm. And you might ask, why am I asking? But if they say, you might ask, why do you care? Well, because some people don't need mortgage protection, mm-hmm. or they may not need as much of it as they think. My job is to help you get what you need and not more than what you need. Mm-hmm. But if you don't care and you're just like, oh, I'll take all I can get, I don't mind spending as much as it costs, that's okay too. But I don't want you to be mad at me and regret me talking to you about higher priced options when there could be lower priced options to get the job done. But before you get there, I think you got to slow down and ask her, what's her vision of mortgage protection? What was she expecting? Mm-hmm. And then when you say, okay, so you're right, whatever she says, well, you're right, here's how it works. This is the part you're right, this is the part that the way programs work a little bit different, but here's how this works. and in very simple and agreeable terms. And I said, and that's when you can then, once you can be nodding and you're on the same page, and now you can come back and talk more about what you're trying to do. But you've got to get her vision out of her and slow down that. That's what I'm saying.